Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. And as you saw, we are looking at a cheap Android phone. And the whole premise behind this was I have an expensive Android phone. It costs like $2,000. I have this insurance. I spend almost $20 a month. And if it breaks, I still have to pay a $200 copay. Is there anything out there? So I found the cheapest one that I can find. I did have a little bit of a rubric that I went by. One, it had to be from a name that I recognize. This one, of course, was TCL, and I know they make TVs and other electronics. Two, it had to be under $200. And three, it had to be brand new. Enough talk, let's get right into this review. Here's our TCL 30XL that I purchased for right around $170. The price ranges between $170 and $200. I just happened to catch it on sale. The initial release date would be about May 2022. We do a quick unboxing. We see that we have our phone, which is a pretty sizable phone. It comes with a power brick, a USB-C charger. I love that they include a case that goes with it. I wish more companies would do that. A simple search through Amazon, and you can see that there are a lot of Android phones out there. Some of them a lot cheaper than this one. I ended up settling on this one for some of the reasons I shared earlier. Plus, man, there are actually cases out there. There are screen protectors that are made specifically for this phone, and that to me is important. Some of those knockoffs or no-name brands, you're not going to find cases or screen protectors made for that particular phone, and that to me was important. The color of this phone is Night Mist, and you can see on the back that I have a fingerprint sensor. I like that. Of course, you notice that I have 4 cameras. They actually call this an AI quad camera. So I have an ultra wide camera. I have a depth camera. I even have a macro camera. That's pretty cool on the back. Of course, we also have a 13 megapixel front camera. I thought that this part was cool. A lot of cell phone companies are doing away with a 3.5 millimeter audio jack, but this one kept it here. That is important because you know what? Some people may not want a Bluetooth headset or whatever, and they might just have the 3.5 jack headphones, so that's important to me. I already mentioned that it had a USB-C charging port, and that will charge your 5,000 milliamp battery, which is ready to power your TCL 30XL on Android 12. This is an unlocked phone that should work on most carriers. Of course, they say not on Sprint or Boost, which I thought was funny because Sprint went out of business years ago, but I have Verizon, which used to be the same type of service as Sprint, and it does say in there if you have Verizon you might have to do a little extra just to get it to work, so we'll try that out. But do check the service providers that you can and cannot use with this phone. I should say that although I'm excited it came with its own power cord and brick, the power cord was only 2 feet long, so you have to have it relatively close to an outlet. So we're going to charge this up. Also, I'm thinking, you know what? They sent this case with it. Why didn't they send a screen protector? That would have been awesome too. Anyway, so let's charge this up and then we'll start the test. We are quickly approaching that 100% charge. The directions tell us that this has fast charge, although the screen does not indicate that whatsoever. I have tried to test this as a wireless charging, although it did not work with or without the case. The screen on here from diagonal to diagonal is 6.82 inches. Let's power on our device for the first time. We are going to push and hold the power button right here and see what happens. Oop, felt haptic feedback there. Looks like it's going to power on. Let's wait to see when it fully boots up. So we have some very common boot screen options. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through these. You can see that we have a start. We can pick our language. There's also some vision settings that keeps glowing down here. That's funny. I'm just going to move through this part so we can get into the phone officially. I was given the option to put in a SIM card, and I'm going to show you where to put the SIM card later or hook it up through my Wi-Fi. That's what I chose to do. So right now we're just getting ready. I skipped through the Google setup, but I did want you to see the setting up the password and PIN. I'm just going to pick 0 and then so we can make this easy, but I wanted to show you how cool it was to have the fingerprint on the back. So let's do that. On the back of the phone, we are supposed to push and hold. And of course, on the front, it's telling us to move around on the sensor. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually moving my finger all sorts of different directions and angles so we can, know if it's me unlocking the phone. Keep doing that until it's all done. During this process, I've actually moved my finger and phone all the way around. You can also add other fingers if you wanted to, just in case you're going to use left or right hand or multiple people to unlock a phone. Other cool features, you have face recognition. Some people like that. I don't particular, but it is neat to have all of those things. Now we're going to install our SIM card. Of course, there's a little dot right there that there was this pin that was included with the box. You're supposed to insert the pin and it pops out the SIM card. Let me show you. Now that we can see that part is popped out, we slide it out all the way and insert our SIM. Here we are. As you can see right here on the top, I was able to use my Verizon SIM card and it loaded up the service right here for me. If you have Verizon and have trouble, you can call them and they can work out something on your system to help you out. But for me, it just happened to work out right away. Although I'm not comparing the TCL 30XL in this video to another Android, I did want to show you a head-to-head speed test. Now this right here on the right is my Galaxy S22 Ultra, and of course my TCL 30XL is on the left. These are both on the Verizon 4G LTE network. There is no other internet. Let's hit run. Wow, you can see a significant difference with the S22 Ultra. Much faster speed. It just tells me that the antenna in there is probably a lot better. Now we're testing the upload speed. And well, they're both very, very slow, but you can see that the S22 Ultra is at least twice as fast, or right around twice as fast. Just to be fair, I've tested this about a dozen times. I've switched the phones back and forth, and every single time my S22 Ultra has won. Now, I will say there was one time that the TCL 30XL had a higher upload speed, but it was still not very good. Oh, you know what? It might have a higher upload speed here again. There is a fair amount of bloatware on here, so if you don't want a certain app, you just click it and you see where it says app info, and then you click uninstall. I'm gonna do that for all of these apps that I have no interest in having on my phone. Now we're gonna test the battery. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the pre-installed YouTube app and just play the live version of CoComelon. It's just gonna play until the battery runs out. I'll let you know how long it takes, but due to copyright rules, I'm not gonna show you the video. I'm just gonna let you know the time frame at the end. As you can see, we've been running YouTube now for 7 hours and 21 minutes, and we have 1% battery life, so I'm gonna cut the test so we can stop and recharge. But that's pretty impressive, over 7 hours of active use. And that's streaming using the LTE, that's using the screen and the sound. Pretty impressive. Let's charge up this battery. Although not once did this phone show me that it was fast charging, it took about 2.5 hours to go from 1% all the way up to 100%, where in my book, that's actually pretty quick. I want to show you a little bit of the camera. From what I can tell, you only get a 4 times zoom. So right now we're on the video function. So if I zoom in here, you can zoom in pretty close, but you see on the wood there, it looks pixelated even around the frame where it says piece. So I can zoom in, but the quality isn't that great. If I'm on the portrait section, I can't actually zoom in. It's just taking it from this angle. Of course, if I click it to Pro, then I can get in here, get close, sort of some of that similar pixelation, but then I can take a photo if I want to. I've been taking pictures with the camera on this phone. I've actually been pretty impressed, especially for the price, but look what I noticed about the screen that I didn't notice before. It actually has this cutout for the camera where a lot of phones won't have this cutout. You'll see the camera through, maybe just as a dot, but this one goes around the camera. So that's just something to be aware of. You're definitely gonna have that on your screen and it won't have a full screen coverage. It's not a deal breaker, it's just something I wanted you to know. We're now gonna test out the unlocking feature from just using our finger on the back. So let's turn it over. Simply put your index finger or whatever finger that you lined up with it there. Oh look, it powered up, no problem, and I can access the phone quick and easy. Very cool. Also, there have been a few times where it didn't detect my finger correctly and I had to try it 2 or 3 times, but then it opened, but that's similar to a lot of phones that I've had, just so you are aware. In this video, we were looking at the cheapest Android phone that I could find. That was the TCL 30XL, and what did I think of it? First things first, it met one of the items that I really wanted, and that was under $200. So this review was a little different than most of my reviews because, well, it's a techie item reviewing a cell phone, but if it's something that you like, make sure to let me know down below and I'll include some more down the road. In using the phone, man, it was really convenient, user-friendly. I can zip through installing the SIM card, setting up the phone, and doing the Google, using the phone. It's great for phone calls, text, surfing the web, all those things. It works as a phone should. So let's talk about some of the extra uses. Well, it does have a camera, but honestly, both the back and the front cameras weren't the greatest. Do they take pictures? Yeah. Could you recognize what was in the pictures? Absolutely. You know what? One thing I forgot to even show in this video, the front camera actually has a 1.5 zoom when you're taking pictures, and that's something I've not seen before on a front-facing camera. Anyway, if this is something that you're interested in, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. What I want to do is talk about lagging. I noticed even in this simple game, it's pretty bad. Check this out. Jump, didn't really land, and then I keep going. So in my opinion, this is not a phone that you're going to use for when you're playing games. Yeah, it does make calls, you can text, you can surf the web, but it definitely glitches. There's another one coming up. I'll show you. Check this out. I'm going to jump. What happened? I just got dropped down. Very silly. And looking through the Amazon reviews, a lot of those reviews are pretty much similar to what I have. Some people loved it and thought it was a great phone because that's what they're using it for. Other people thought, you know what? Not so much because it lags or it's buggy. And yeah, I do agree with that, but as a phone, it's okay. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review where I took a look at the cheapest Android phone that I could find. You know what? Not that long ago, I actually reviewed the Armor Suite screen protector that I put on my Galaxy S22. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you at that review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.